Alright, hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 1 in a best of 7 series between Team Liquid and Clan Prime here on Blistering Sands. We have JulyZerg, yes, that JulyZerg, spawning as the blue Zerg player over here on the south side of the map. Meanwhile, we have LiquidRet spawning on the north side of the map. Now, a couple of the complaints that I recently have gotten about the tournament, one of them being, how come there's no sound and no music on the intro? I really don't have a really good reason, so I guess I'll just try to make up one. This tournament is so awesome, it doesn't even need music. Okay, anyways, if you buy that, then good for you. If you don't, then, well, if you want to compose your own non-copyrighted music for me and send it to me, I guess I can try to incorporate it into this as well. So anyways, we have JulyZerg now moving out with this Overlord. Same thing with Red, both sides just scouting out. And this is Zerg versus Zerg here on Blistering Sands. We'll see who is going to be able to take this game. Both players not too shabby. And already you see in the production tab, both players pretty much going for that same exact build. Taking a look at the income, though, you can see both players now seen on 12 over 13, and now we already see an extractor coming in from Ret. So Ret going for an extractor before a spawning pool, and that will allow him to get that metabolic boost coming up very, very quickly. We should be seeing another spawning pool coming online in just a moment. Meanwhile, July looking to perhaps go for a 15 hatchery, and he will be able to place down that hatchery and be able to mine more minerals as well. And this is part of patch 1.1.3, so that may be a little bit of the reason why the computer seems to be lagging just a little bit more than normal. So yeah, 1.2 was just recently released, but this is part of patch 1.1.3. Luckily, in a Zerg versus Zerg mirror match, not much has changed. We now see that the spawning pool is being completed for JulyZerg, sitting at 15 over 65. Meanwhile, we see the spawning pool for Ret will be completed in just a moment, as he's also training up one Overlord as well. He should have about the right amount of gas right as the spawning pool is completed, allowing him to pull all those drones off of gas. Yeah, there we go, drones off of gas one at a time, and then perhaps going for that metabolic boost. There we go, and now trying to increase his production. And wow, this is really bad, Blizzard. It looks as though, yeah, there is a little bit of lag when watching older replays. There may be another patch coming out sometime soon. Back over here, we now see another hatchery being placed down over here. The hatchery by JulyZerg nearing completion as well, and now we should be seeing some Zerglings being trained up by July. Otherwise, those very, very fast metabolic boosted lings coming out from Ret will be able to deal a serious amount of damage. He already knows what's coming in as he sees he is able to spot him with those Overlords, sees 4 Zerglings, 2 more in tow, and that is going to perhaps put a little bit of pressure. Now, there are no queens being trained over here, but we do see an early Roach Warren now. So going straight into Roach Warren, and we do know that the hatchery does have a lot of hit points, and with that natural base 1 armor, or natural +1 armor, those Zerglings are going to have a difficult time, but the Zerglings simply ignoring that, and instead going after the destructible rocks over here. That will buy a lot of time for JulyZerg in order to get those roaches, and that may not be that smart of an option. We'll see what's going to be happening as we now have 1 roach currently being trained up, and more Zerglings coming over here, and now we finally see JulyZerg moving over with this Overlord and able to spot these Zerglings trying to take down these backdoor rocks. Only, I believe, 7 of them are able to attack at that same time, only dealing 2 damage per attack. As I said before, destructible rocks have a natural 3 armor. However, those Zerglings making their way through, trying to get through, and it looks as though it's already halfway down. Production-wise, army-wise, you now see 300 versus 550, so Ret having a lot of Zerglings, and those Zerglings, especially on creep, are going to be able to deal a lot of damage. And now those Zerglings, after weakening those rocks, are now going to come in through that front door, as there is a lot of them, and now in come those Roaches. So Roaches now trying to fight back, able to get a lot of damage dealt across those Zerglings, and now nicely done. But 3 Roaches on that high ground with more Roaches now coming out, and now those Zerglings are going to have a little bit of a problem. Are going to be able to run by. No, not able to run by, and now just put pressure on that back door. There is 1 Roach here, but is the Roach going to be able to deal any damage? Yes, we'll be able to get some damage across, be able to take off 1 or 2 of those Zerglings as they're trying to push through. Only some of those rocks, only some of those Zerglings are able to peck apart. Now back over here, yes, able to get a little bit more damage in. Another Zergling taken down, and only 4 Zerglings able to attack at the same time, as these 5 Roaches are now moving out up front. So 5 Roaches on the move, as these rocks are about to get destroyed over here. If those rocks do go down, that is going to be a bit of a problem production-wise, though. We do now see roaches coming in from Ret, so Ret getting those roaches. Zerglings do not have that metabolic boost, and that is going to be a problem for July, as July just running around back and forth. Now coming over here, a large army of roaches and Zerglings pushing over into the natural expansion over here. No metabolic boost still just quite yet, as Zerglings now trying to go after this one queen. The queen is taking a fair amount of damage, as those roaches are just going to be able to snipe it down. Nicely done. And now going after more of those roaches. The focus fire is better on July over here, as he's going to be able to focus down one at a time, able to get some damage, and now continuing to move, trying to get away from those Zerglings, which will be running up that ramp and perhaps getting a decent surround there. Down goes another roach. 2 roaches left. 1 roach still taking some damage, and now the rest of the roaches have been cleaned up. Red now moving out with those metabolic boosted lings. Back over here, we still see some lings on the low ground. The metabolic boost nearing completion for July, so July will have fast lings of his own in just a moment, but the backdoor rocks now going to fall. And this is just one of the reasons why Zerg is so strong on this map. Lings will be able to come in here very, very easily. We do see that these Zerglings do have that metabolic boost, but there is not going to be enough. Zerglings now trying to engage, and able to intercept some of those, getting some damage. Now Queen now trying to push through, and now are they going to be able to deal any damage over here? Zerglings now trying to come in, surround. Will be able to perhaps focus. No, not able to surround that one roach over there, as it is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg army. Income wise, you can see that Ret has a serious advantage at 26 harvesters compared to 19 for July. July in a little bit of trouble, as Ret has the stronger army at this time and the stronger economy at this time. Roach is now on the move. No, perhaps it's going to sit over here at this front door, allowing himself to be able to mine in peace and get a strong economy going. However, power droning now coming in from July, and now July catching up. 23 drones compared to 25. Ret does have 1 additional queen, so that is going to help him increase on that larva production, as those Zerglings now perhaps going to be able to flank. Yeah, being able to pick off some of those Zerglings as they're caught in transition. Nicely done, as those Zerglings now trying to just Zergling micro back and forth across the map. Zerglings running around. Will they be able to give chase? It looks like Ret's Zerglings are going to try to return home, able to pick apart some of those Zerglings, and now back home they go. We do see 2 overlords here. I thought those were roaches on the mini-map for a second, and now in come some of these roaches. Roaches now trying to push some damage. However, they do not have that that movement speed on them yet, so they will not be able to catch up according to those lings, even with even on creep or off of creep. Back over here, we now are seeing a tech to tier 2 coming in from Ret. However, we now see JulyZerg going for a larger army, so you see him training up 7 roaches, and those 7 roaches are going to be a very, very strong pushing force in just a moment. Zerglings now trying to push out. The Zerglings coming back over here, now trying to pull back, and a lot of those Zerglings just simply getting a surround. A lot of Ret's Zerglings were not able to get that much damage in, and now trying to pull back, trying to micro those lings, and somehow JulyZerg, even though he had a lot less lings, was able to even up that army very, very easily, as those Zerglings now try to retreat home. More Zerglings coming back in, and now those Zerglings deciding to retreat home once again. So Zergling versus Zerglings, whoever have the superior numbers and positioning are obviously going to take that battle. Taking a look at the unit combination now, we now see 17 or 18 roaches coming in from Ret. Meanwhile, we have 13 roaches coming in from July, but July is still power droning even more roaches. Unit combination, both sides do have 2 queens now, so those 2 queens should even out the larva production if they're staying on top of their macros. Zerglings once again trying to give chase. Those Zerglings will be able to retreat once more, as this large army of roaches now back on the move. 3 more roaches, 8 more Zerglings now being trained. The Overlord in the air, able to spot those roaches, and now those Zerglings deciding to retreat home once again. Ret now looking to just get the movement speed upgrade, and I believe once the movement speed upgrade and the Zerg missile attacks are completed by Ret will be able to take this game. Zerg is now fighting back and forth over here. We do see 1 roach trying to fight back, more roaches over here trying to fight back, and now many of those units are getting exchanged at this time. We now see July sitting on a larger army, just ever so barely by 25 minerals, but now we see an even larger army coming in from Ret. Roaches now coming in from July trying to take down these backdoor rocks. It looks like a lot of damage will be dealt. However, no upgrades at all. So without those upgrades, Ret's roaches will have the movement speed upgrade and the missile upgrade in just a moment, and that may be a little bit too much. Zerg is now trying to run straight through. A queen will get sniped down over here. Roach is simply ignoring his own queen getting taken down, and down it goes as the Roach is now trying to push out that front door. The Roach is now with that movement speed, however, will be able to give chase Army-wise, both sides are even in terms of mineral count. It's just going to be the upgrades, and will the upgrades be able to make that much of a difference? We are not at tier 2 yet, so it will be quite some time before July is going to be able to get even the movement speed upgrade. Now going after some of those drones, now running straight into here, and this is going to be a very, very nice place as those roaches now trying to come in. Red needs to move in with his roaches, and I believe Red will be able to win out on this fight just because he has better positioning, and he also has that a movement speed upgrade and the missile attack upgrade. And now you can see those upgrades allowing those roaches to just simply outmass and deal more damage, and now the army is just completely shifting in the favor of Red. Red will be able to take this, and now with his movement speed upgrade should be able to move in over here, yes, and now JulyZerg says GG. So LiquidRet taking a game from the famous JulyZerg here on Blistering Sands. July never really recovered. It always felt like he was behind for much of the game, always trying to play catch up with that power droning. Red played it very, very safe. As soon as he was trying to tech to tier 2, he knew that he didn't want to attack until his upgrades and his movement speed upgrades were done. And that really gave him much better mobility, and on top of that, much better DPS from his units. And because of that, he was just able to carry that advantage into the mid and late game here, forcing JulyZerg to GG. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 matchup between LiquidRet and JulyZerg. Team Liquid and Team Prime or Clan Prime here on Blistering Sands.